What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday. It's the live Ask Me Anything. It's the Pope Day. You know what I'm talking about. I'm the Pope. I do live Ask Me Anythings every Sunday. And of course, I have some brilliant guests coming in as well. Thank you guys again so much for joining us in here. If you guys are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. For my guests, I put all their links down below. I want you guys to make sure to go subscribe over to them as well. Hit that like button, of course. And the biggest thing today, guys, is I want to straight up come off the top. If you guys want your question answered right away, do throw in a super chat. All the super chat proceeds will be going to the NAACP. That is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Mothman Jones, who also did the same, donated the same thing off the Geeks of the Round Table podcast a couple days ago on Ren's channel. Was a lot of fun. And speaking of Ren, let's bring in Ren right now. Ren, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey there, thank you so much for having me again, Zach. I'm doing good, man. Just trying to stay positive. Been binging one of my favorite shows of all time, which I talked to you about a little bit. And I'm really looking forward to do this today.
Absolutely. And it's going to be fun because we do have a guest coming on here who I've collabed with before in the past, but I'm happy to have her on here because she's one of my favorite film critics on YouTube and in general, just in this whole entire space in general. And that is Sharonda Williams from Pay Our Way. How are you doing, Sharonda?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. I'm glad. We're doing good. Ren, how are you doing over across the pond?
I'm very good. Back home for a little bit, just isolating myself for a week before hanging out with my friends who have been isolating themselves for like 2 months now. So we're ready to hang out just in a small group, a very intimate group. That's it.
Was it the quarantine strict out there for Portugal? I know you were in England for majority of that, but like, what did your friends and family say?
Like over here now, it's not obligatory. So like, if you want, you can hang out, but you're like, as we usually say, you're playing with fire. You're going at your own risk, you know?
Totally. And then also just throwing this in as well, guys, for everyone in the live chat, start throwing in questions. They can be about literally anything. Movies, TVs, life, whatever you want us to answer, we will talk about it to our discretion, of course. And of course, you do want your question read right off the top, thrown at super chat. All super chats will be donated and I'll be matching those as well. Throwing in as well, we want to kind of go off. Obviously, the world is going through a very historical moment, I think. And I think this is what's pretty exciting is that I was thinking about this and I'm like, my kids will be reading about the stuff going on in their history books, which I think is awesome. I think it's going to be really cool to see these types of protests and everything kind of going on in a history book. And, you know, because a lot of times when we go back in history, it's all covered up with, I remember back in social studies and stuff, it's all covered up with bullshit. I mean, do you guys agree with that? I know Ren probably learns completely different stuff, but Sharon, do you agree with that? Especially in the United States?
Yeah.
So with that said, we wanted to talk about three. We all picked three important films that we feel like that can help educate you that we feel like are important to see right now. And I'm going to start with our newest guest who's never joined the live Ask Me Anything. Sharonda, what are three films that you feel like people should go out and see or search out and watch right now?
So I picked three different movies for three totally different reasons. So it's gonna be like a very just random list, but it's okay. There's point behind it. So the first film that I chose was Selma, by Ava DuVernay. And the most important reason why I chose Selma was because one of the things that really stood out to me was how they went into why the media needs to be present to really help change happen as far as what they witnessed with the protests, especially what happened with the violence and the protests in Selma and how that really helped move a nudge like in the movement, the civil rights movement. Also too, there is a comedy. It's a dark comedy in the 1970s called The Watermelon Man. It's about a racist white man who wakes up one day and he's Black. And then it goes into like how he is treated by his intolerant friends, neighbors, his own family. So I like that it's like this dark comedy that really makes you examine race. It's kind of like what they tried to do. Is it Suburbia with Matt Damon?
Oh,
Suburbicon.
Suburbicon, yes.
I never saw that.
You don't have to.
A lot of people miss the point of the mark of racism and what they were trying to convey to the audience. And then also too, there's another film called The Intruder, which is free on YouTube. It stars William Shatner about this guy who is sent to a town undercover from a racist organization to help stop the segregation the desegregation of a high school in town. And that's actually free on YouTube. Selma is actually free right now for the month on Paramount. And I think The Watermelon Man, you might have a harder time trying to find it, but I think there are 3 totally different movies, but still, regarding race relations in America right now.
That's awesome. And just so everyone knows, I think Selma's actually free. I think they lifted it. And then I just looked up Watermelon Man. It is currently on Amazon Prime. I've never seen that movie. I've heard about it before, but now I'm actually going to search that out because that's a really cool concept. And that's one of those films that kind of goes under the radar, I feel that. And I'm glad that you brought up an older film because a lot of mine are, more modern the last couple of years, but Selma's a great one. Watermelon Man, and you picked some great ones. You picked some amazing ones. Ren, you can do the next ones. Pick yours.
Yeah, so my first one is a very recent one, but it's a very important one, and I don't see enough people talking about it. Even when it came out, it should have just exploded, and it didn't. And it's Just Mercy. It's a very recent movie, even if current events weren't happening. It's just left a bad taste in my mouth in a good way about what happened. Like this thing of what the movie talks about started the year I was born, and now stuff like that is still happening, and it's awful. And I think the movie speaks to the current world we live in, and it's got some awesome performances. It's very well written. And I just think more and more people should watch it. I don't know where it is, but I also know that it is free. Warner Brothers made it available free somewhere in some streaming service, which is also great.
I think Fandango, iTunes, I think Amazon Prime. And then I know if you don't use any of those services, I know that it's like $2 to rent. It's super cheap on a lot of different services too.
Nice. My second one is one we were talking about before the show started, and that's BlacKkKlansman, because I love BlacKkKlansman because it has this very quirky sense to it, but every time it gets a little bit funny and whatnot, it immediately slaps you in the face with reality, and that's a good thing. It even ends with a punch to the gut for people watching the movie and just see the comedy, which the comedy is good in it, but the slaps of reality are even better and just take it to another level. And my last one is a bit of an older one, but it's with Denzel Washington, and it's called The Great Debaters. It's a very underrated movie, and it talks about how it was to live as a black person in the Jim Crow era, and it's really, really a powerful film.
That's awesome. And I'm glad that we all have 3 different picks because I was worried some of us were going to have crossovers into this stuff. Also, my girlfriend's watching. She just texted me. It's also on Vudu. Just Mercy is.
Okay, nice.
So nice. All right. So these are mine. My number 1 is Fruitvale Station. I think Fruitvale Station is one of the most powerful films. I think that's still probably Coogler's best directed movie. It's one of the few movies in the last couple of years to have made me totally bawl my eyes out. And I think that's the film that made me look at Michael B. Jordan and said, this is what a fantastic actor, but it's based on a true story and it's gut wrenching. I think that's very close to everything kind of going on right now. The next one is If Beale Street Could Talk. I think there are a couple of moments, and I think that was a very underrated film that year. I think that's actually better than Moonlight. No one saw it the year it came out, and 2 years ago? I think at this point it was 2 years ago. More people should have seen it. But is it Brian Tyree Henry? Is that his
Yes, he's in it.
He's fantastic.
He's amazing, and he should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He has 2 scenes that are absolutely excellent. And then my last one, I kind of have 2 because I couldn't decide. It's either the documentary 13th, directed also by Ava DuVernay. If you haven't seen that, I don't even want to get really into what it's about, but just go check it out. It's fucked up. It's fucked up, but it speaks a lot of injustices that's kind of going on in our prison systems. Ava DuVernay is just an excellent director nonetheless. Especially if you haven't seen the show When They See Us, that show destroyed me. And Blind Spotting. Blind Spotting is a unique film for me. I didn't know what it was about going in, whatsoever. And I came out with just a holy shit moment, especially within the climax of that film. It's very dark, but very real, but it's crazy how it can mix comedy in so well at the same time throughout the whole film, and then totally traverse back to the dramatic side of it. And David Diggs is just, I can't wait to see what this guy does next. I know he's playing Sebastian the Crab in the Little Mermaid movie, but I want to see him do more stuff like that.
Yeah, he's in Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Do you guys both like? I know Ren's talked about it. Pay, do you like it, Sharonda?
Yeah, the first episode was kind of like I was 50-50, but it's grown on me now. I like it.
Okay, and you guys both like the movie?
Same. Love the movie.
Yeah, it was really fantastic.
Okay.
That is gonna be in my eyes, but they do a little bit more world building in the TV.
Is it the same story, or what is it?
It's different. It's like the same concept, but the story is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a crime. It's like a murder mystery type of like a crime mystery.
Okay, because I was always interested with like the movie or the show itself, because is it R? Is the show R?
I don't think so.
No,
because the first episode is pretty gruesome. Like I don't know exactly what the parameters are, but the first episode I
away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
There's
I saw it here. It's on what, TNT, right? CBS?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
like TBS, like the same kind of.
And I was like, if this was on HBO, maybe. So, okay, I got to give it a shot because I love the movie. We do have a super chat from Logan the Great, $14.99. Thank you so much, Logan. As the new generation, how can we use the power of film to fight against racism, hatred, bigotry, and bring American together as one regardless race? I think, as talking about with filmmaking, I think it's just letting people of all color being able to direct, being able to tell stories. A lot of the films we mentioned, I feel like, are more independent, if not all of them are independent. I think the biggest film that's kind of spoken about is Black Panther. I think that's legitimately like the biggest film that's kind of even dived somewhat into that. And that was because of Coogler. I guess Creed, but Creed doesn't really get into any of that nature at all. So I think it's just letting everyone have a chance at directing a movie. Does anyone else have anything to add to that?
Go ahead.
I think it's multi-layered, right? Mm-hmm. I think the first part of it is letting Black people or other people of color, letting them tell their stories, letting them be in the writer's room when these like storylines are being told, and letting people behind the lens, like directors, letting them have the freedom to put what they want to put on screen. Because even for movies like The Intruder that I mentioned, once people realized what it was about, they pulled it from theaters. Like there was like a deference about this movie. Also, too, from a critic standpoint, making sure that we are shining the light on all types of films. Like I've seen so many people argue about films, in my opinion, that are very overrated. But we missed a lot of great films. Like If Beale Street Could Talk, Brian Tyree Henry, even though he's in it for 10 minutes, it is like the best 10 minutes of your life. Or movies like Loose with Kelvin Harris Jr.
Yes.
I think that we need to use our voice to uplift these types of films to really get more people interested in watching it. And then also to making sure that we're going out to support these movies. It's so many layers to it, but yeah.
Well, and that's a big thing too. Like, if there's an independent movie that you guys are very interested in seeing, go search it out. I mean, search out a theater when theaters do, of course, open back up and see it. Or if it does end up going to VOD, rent it. Yes, it might be $15, $20, but in the end of the day, you would have spent that at the same time going to the movie theaters. I think people don't understand that. So yeah, I mean, Sharonda, you say a lot of great stuff with all that kind of put into there, and I 100% agree. Ren, do you have anything to add to that?
No, just don't be afraid to go watch these movies that will actually talk about these issues. Like you watch Black Panther because it's a big superhero movie, but watch more of these movies that actually do not get you excited when you first look at them, but then really look at what they're talking about and what is important that they are talking about. I agree with both of you guys. And of course, with all that out of the way, guys, I do hope you guys go search out those films. They really, again, they're all fantastic. I'm really looking forward to a lot of the choices you two picked, because some of those I have not seen. And now I'm probably going to look them up later this week because I need some movies to watch, because there's still not that many new movies coming out. Well, this week there are a lot coming out. So we were kind of discussing that beforehand. But also, should we announce what we're going to be trying to put together? You're the boss there.
What do you guys think? All right, so yeah, so before we get a little bit further into the show, because we will be going into the live Ask Me Anything right after this, and taking all your guys' questions, something that we are putting together is a show called The Positive Report. Obviously, kind of based off some good news, but just our own version of it. Some good news is completely changing. There's no new episodes for the time being, and I love what John Krasinski was going to be doing in that. But what I wanted to create was something that was in the same light of that, but also having different hosts from around the world, which is Ren. He's across the pond. Sharonda is on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. There's a kind of thing of bringing all these kind of different sources together and creating a new show that's positive and in lights on things. So, the media doesn't show the best in us, and I want to show the best in us. And I think bringing this together will be something exciting. So I'm planning on getting the first episode up by Friday. We will see if that happens. Obviously stuff happens, editing, all that sorts of things. If it doesn't, it will go up a little bit after that. Is there anything you guys want to say about that, Sharonda?
No, I'm just excited to work with both of you. I can't wait to see the first episode when it comes out, and look forward to everybody watching.
Me too. And Ren?
Yeah, I'm super excited as well, man. I just hope we can find the stuff that we need to bring a smile to our faces and to everyone who will be watching.
Totally agree, guys. So that'll be exciting. Look out for that. And if you guys are not subscribed to these two yet, you guys definitely should. Again, the link is down below for both their channels. Go subscribe to them and leave a comment on their latest video saying, "Hi, how are you? Zach sent me over here." And be nice. We want to be nice in this world. All right, getting to the first question. Zachary DeCiro says, great channel, Zach. What would you want as Norman Osborn in the MCU? I would want Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington's a good choice. Sharonda, is there anyone that you would think that you would want for Norman Osborn?
So I would actually want Joe Morton. If anyone watched Scandal, Papa Pope, he was in Blues Brothers 2000, one of my favorite movies, like with him. But he is amazing. I think he'd be fantastic. He also plays Cyborg Dad, but I think that he would be a fantastic Norman Osborn.
That's a good choice. That's an outside choice that I never thought before, but I would really love that. Ren, what about you?
I'm going the more traditional route, and you and I have talked about this repeatedly, but Matthew McConaughey as Norman Osborn just
kill it. Yeah,
just sounds great.
Yeah, I mean that would be mine as well. Because I've been saying if Matthew McConaughey is going to join a comic book realm, I would kill for him to be like in the MCU. I think his vibe fits it more than the DCEU would. Going off a different one though, I know there's rumored David Morrissey. They've been looking at him for the MCU for quite a while, the governor. I think he would do a really good job as Norman Osborn. I think I loved him in what he did with The Walking Dead. He hasn't done much lately, but there's rumors that he's been in talks for a certain role in the MCU for quite a while, and I think that one would fit him perfectly. And necessarily, I don't want him in the Green Goblin suit. I just want him playing Norman Osborn. I think that's the next step that this whole interconnected universe should go to, since Tony Stark has passed away. So I think that would probably be good because he's kind of the anti-Tony Stark in a sense. Let's see. Hey Zach, thoughts on the Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen? Who wants to give their thoughts first?
Do you have 3 hours?
I stopped watching Transformers after like the second or third movie. I was done, so I don't subject myself to the torture.
Did you see Bumblebee though?
Yeah, I did watch Bumblebee. Okay. I love Bumblebee. Okay. But anything Transformers, I refuse. I'm protecting my.
All right, and Ren.
Yeah, we don't have 3 hours for me to go all over Transformers the last night. It's awful. I hate it. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Let's keep it at that.
I don't hate the movie. It's definitely not one of my favorites. For me, when it comes to Transformers, I mean, they're just big, dumb, fun movies. Bumblebee's like way up here, and like the rest of them are like way down here.
I like the first one.
The first one's good, but I guess it goes Bumblebee, the first one,
and then the rest.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like the last two, Last Night and Age of Extinction, made me feel like I was losing brain cells. So they were terrible. Do
you mind spoilers for the movie?
I'm never watching it. It's okay.
The Earth, the planet Earth is a transformer. It's revealed that the planet Earth is a transformer by the end of the movie. Like, what the
The
hell?
second one?
No. What's the name? Last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was terrible. I just remember the scene where Mark Wahlberg has his shirt off, and then the robot butler goes and like jumps out of the ship to go make dinner for him and this girl.
Yeah.
And it was like, Sharonda's like, what the fuck?
No, you just reminded me like that I made a great decision to never watch
Yeah.
it.
You did. I
Yeah.
just keep thinking, what dirt did they have on Anthony Hopkins for him to do that?
Oh my God.
He says "dude" at one point, and Anthony
Dude.
Hopkins says "dude."
He was the best part of that movie, though. He was the
He
best part of
was.
last night.
He was.
Absolutely. Yeah. Next one. Have you seen Alien 1979? Great film. Sharonda, have you seen Alien?
I haven't. I don't remember it, so I would have
Okay.
to go back and rewatch it again. So yes, but no, because I don't remember anything anymore.
Ren?
Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's a classic.
Okay, I think it's overrated.
Oh.
I think it's decent. It's fine. I watched it like way after, like probably like 6 years ago for the first time. Probably okay. Actually, no. I watched it like right before Prometheus, and I thought it was overrated. I think Aliens 2 is good. I mean, I've already said this. It's so controversial. I think Covenant is the best Alien movie.
Whoa.
I love Covenant so much, and I love Prometheus too because of like all the stuff with David. I think David's like one of the most like coolest characters in anything. So
I can agree with that.
what was that,
Yeah.
Shonda?
I said he made that movie.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. But I've never been an Alien guy. I've been a Predator guy. And the next question is, have you seen Predator? Absolutely. I have a giant Predator like literally standing right here next to me. So
Oh, nice.
I was scared of
It's like,
Predator. Like it
Oh,
really freaked me out. Yeah.
mhm.
I don't know why my parents allowed me to watch half the things I did growing up, but Predator really freaked me out.
Oh, I remember my dad showed me the first time, and we used to live in like Big Bear, California, where it was like all forest and stuff. And every time I went outside, I'm like, shit, is it gonna jump out? But yeah, I love the Predator. Predator 2's fun too. 3 is, I think, completely underrated. I think the Predators with Adrian Brody is actually a lot of fun. And then the newest one's not, I don't hate it. It's just not a good
Yeah.
movie. There's just a, it's, yeah, I was surprised that premiered at TIFF. I'm still shocked that that one premiered at TIFF.
Yeah, that's right. It did. Huh.
Did you go to TIFF that year?
No, I went to
No.
following year.
Oh, okay. Aliens or Predator? Predator.
Alien.
Movies overall, Aliens, but the creature itself, Predator.
Okay. One has to go La La Land or Blade Runner 2049.
La La Land.
Oh.
Overrated. I mean,
I knew you were going to
Blade
say that.
Runner was overrated too, but still, La La Land, the worst. I cannot.
I would say Blade Runner. I'm sorry.
I would say Blade Runner 2, only because if it goes, we still have the first one. But if La La Land goes, we have nothing, so I need to keep La La Land.
I feel that. Deep in the film score, what was the movie that changed your life? Was there a movie that changed your guys' life? Ren, I'll let you start with this one.
Okay. We talked about this before, not necessarily in answering this question, but there's two that come to mind. One was Gladiator. First time I saw Gladiator, I was like, okay, I love movies more than anything else. And then Batman Begins was a movie that made me realize, okay, I want to be a director. This is what I want to do with my life.
That's awesome. Sharonda?
Yeah, so Gladiator is the first time that I realized that I love this genre of film. I remember that my stepdad made me go to the movies, and I was so pissed. I was like, I do not want to see this movie. And literally when I walked out, I was just like, this is like one of my most favorite films of all time, and it still is. I absolutely adore Gladiator. It's such a good movie.
That's probably my favorite Ridley Scott film, and I don't love him as a director, but Gladiator is amazing. That movie is amazing, and the 4K for that is insane. Like it's probably the best 4K out there. So if you have a 4K player and you don't have Gladiator, go get it because it's incredible. Man, I never saw Gladiator in the theater. For me, it's funny. it's necessarily like, it's funny. The thing that got me super into filmmaking wasn't a movie; it was a show. It was Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad got me super into filmmaking because of everything, all the small technical things here and there, and like a class I was taking at the time was learning about that type of stuff, like the small subtleties of like a color a character could be wearing. And what they're wearing, like orange, brown, green. It was really cool to see the differences of how Breaking Bad really intersected that into the show. But honestly, looking back, one of the movies that I just remember watching and going, holy shit, movies are amazing. It was Inception. Inception was like, I remember seeing in the theaters and just being like, holy shit, what is this movie? And then Raiders of the Lost Ark as well, Jurassic Park, Toy Story, like stuff like that, just like really always stuck out to me. And then I remember seeing Pulp Fiction for the first time and being like, I love scripts. And I saw it on TV, so I didn't see the GIMP scene, I didn't see any of that stuff. And then I remember my mom bought me it and I watched it and I said, what the fuck is this? Because I was scarred. And I don't think my mom knew about that scene. Probably still doesn't to this date. So good thing on that part.
Like, the scene with Ving, like,
yeah,
I was literally traumatized by that scene. That's a lot. It was a lot.
Well, I'm just like sitting there, like on TV, they just cut that whole scene out completely. So watching it, I'm like, oh, I know this scene. No, I do not. All right. Let's see. Most overrated movie of all time. I already said one, Alien.
La La Land.
La La Land.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, fuck you. I love that movie.
It's true. It's a good movie, but it's not great.
I love that movie. Have you guys ever seen Cool World? Very underrated animated movie. I have not. Have you guys?
I know what it is, but I have not seen it.
Okay. What's it about? Do you know?
It's basically, I mean, at least from the look of it, it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but Brad Pitt is the main character.
What?
Yeah.
Cool World?
And the main actor, main star, whatever.
Let's look this up. Cool World. What? What is this? What the fuck is this? I want to watch this. I love Roger Rabbit. I just looked it up. It's 1992.
Oh, it's older than I thought.
Wow. That's awesome. I need to see that.
Wow. How did I miss this?
All right. I just skipped out on a couple questions that I wanted to answer. Creed or Black Panther? Creed, man. Creed's, even though Black Panther is like top 6 for me for the MCU.
I'm going
more.
Mm-hmm.
From a story wise, I think that this explores more topics that are relatable to today. Mm-hmm. Even though it takes place like during this time, but Black Panther for me.
Black Panther.
Yeah, I'm also going Black Panther.
What do you guys remember? I remember when I walked out of Black Panther, I thought I had seen something like completely different than like the MCU had done before.
Yeah,
and I think my favorite thing about Black Panther is the mythology of that whole entire world and like how they built it up. Like just from that opening, was it one of the opening sequences where it shows like how they're creating everything and the way they do like, I don't know, but like all the particles and like moving it all around to show like how they hit. Yeah, I excellent storytelling in there. Zach Pope, did you get a haircut? Yes, like 3 weeks ago when everything opened back up because I needed one. Do you watch?
Feel bad for saying you had a haircut?
What's up?
Do you feel bad for saying you had a haircut? Because I feel like if I go to get my hair done or my nails, then I feel ashamed. Like, why did you do that? Like, but I was safe and we're allowed to do it now. Just weird.
No, I needed one so bad. I literally and it was like a 3-hour wait, like the 2 days before I tried to go. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get up early. I'm going to go stand outside. I'm going to be the first one in there. And I was the first one in there. Film festivals has taught me well. Best movie to watch with your family?
The Lion King is one for sure.
You want to traumatize your kids?
I don't have kids. I'm not gonna have kids. I'm talking about my family, my mother, my father.
My friend's daughter can't watch certain parts of Lion King.
Oh,
It,
I believe
it got
that.
me.
Honestly, what best movies to watch with your family? Probably comedies. It's just always like my family's a little bit tough because they talk through fucking movies all the damn time.
Oh, I hate that.
Unless we're at the theater. I mean, they don't talk, but like when we're at home, I mean, Quiet Place, impossible to watch with them. It was just the whole time talking. They want to watch Invisible Man, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to watch it with them. And then I thought, no, because they're gonna talk the whole time. And they're like, right now they're going through Star Wars. Like my dad has never seen all the Star Wars movies. He showed me all the OG trilogy and he took me to all the prequel movies, but he fell asleep through all of them. So he's like rewatching them. And, it's so funny to hear him like talking about them. And then like, they'll ask me a bunch of questions. Like my mom comes up to me after Revenge of the Sith and she goes, so did the Death Star already blow up? And I looked at her and I'm like, what? And she goes, they're like, it's in scatters at the end of the movie. I said, yeah, they're building it. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to watch with something like that. Let's see. Have you seen The Night Clerk, which just released on Netflix yesterday? I have not. Anyone
That's
seen
the one with Ty Sheridan and Ana de Armas is also in it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it, but I know kind of what it is.
Oh, okay. I like Ty Sheridan. He's a
Yeah.
really nice guy. We met him at South by once. He was walking out of the
nice.
theater, and we just said hi to him. And Tyler Tompkins got a photo with him. That was cool.
Nice.
Which actor played Bruce Wayne the best and the worst?
I know everyone hates Ben Affleck.
Oh,
but
I don't.
I really liked Ben Affleck as Batman. Maybe not so much. I wouldn't say the reason why I love him is necessarily just from an acting standpoint. I like that as a more realistic and aggressive Batman at this point. You know what I mean? I felt like the previous Batman's like the snarkiness that Christian Bale brought to it. I do like him from an acting standpoint. But I really like the aggressiveness of Ben Affleck. Like,
I agree.
Like, just I don't care anymore. Like, I'm over it.
I totally agree with that. He's actually my favorite Batman personally. I love him as Batman. I think he's perfect. When it comes to Bruce Wayne, that's probably a tie between him or Christian Bale because I think Christian Bale did a really good job. But I've been saying this. I think Pattinson's gonna be the best Batman and Bruce Wayne. I think he's just gonna kill it. I think he's gonna kill it, and we're probably in luck because he's probably gonna be in the most movies ever as Batman. How many movies do you think they tied him down to? I think at least 6.
I don't think 6. I think at least 3.
That much.
What's up? What was that?
I don't necessarily believe that he would commit to that much. I mean, think about still his trauma of being a part of Twilight. You know,
that is
like
true.
Commit to a franchise like that.
I wonder how much. I wonder how much input he also has though, because I feel like Matt Reeves really. I mean, everyone wanted to come onto this film. It feels like a lot of actors were throwing themselves. So there's something with this script that people were really engaged with. So it's interesting. I'm interested. And then Ren, who's your favorite Bruce Wayne?
Bruce Wayne, it's Christian Bale, 100%. Because I think Ben Affleck was given much more as Batman than he was as Bruce Wayne, and I still like him in both the versions of the character. But Christian Bale is the best. The worst is George Clooney.
Yeah. George Clooney, pretty bad. Yeah. Most disappointing movie of the last 5 years.
Oh,
is there one that grabbed you guys and you're just like, Jesus, that was not good, or this should have been so much better?
I'm looking at my movies. That's why I'm looking to the side.
Why would you buy a disappointing movie, Ren?
But maybe it is a sequel, and maybe the first one was good. That's why I'm looking at the movies I have of the last 5 years. So 2015, 2017.
Yeah, I didn't think of this.
I'm surprised you guys aren't saying Star Wars because I don't think either of you guys. Well, I know Sharonda. I think you're disappointing.
You know how I talk about the Rise of Skywalker, like
that's the one.
The disrespect for it to be like a finale, and for so much like we're gonna right all the wrongs of Last Jedi. And I was just like, okay, nothing happened. Like you made it worse. You thought you were doing. So I'm just really confused by that. And then I really I don't care for Coen Brother movies. I know everyone loves them, but I just every time I walk out, every time.
Do you not like Ballad of Buster Scruggs either? Because I didn't.
I didn't watch that. I haven't watched that.
I legitimately sat in the theater and it felt like a million years for that film. I was sitting there and I walked out and it was a press screen. The rep asked me what I thought and I said, I didn't get it. I thought that was boring. I thought it was really boring, which sucks because I love the Coen brothers. But honestly, for me, I think my least favorite, like my most disappointing film, I mean, it might be Hellboy. I was really excited for Hellboy. I think out of every single person, I was the most excited for that movie because I grew up with the originals. I was super excited to see what they could do with this next one. And I came out just pissed, like legitimately pissed at it. So I mean, I will probably never see that movie again. Like that movie was just an atrocity. Ren, did you find one?
I found one. I mean, I can't find anything else that comes to mind, but of the ones I found, this probably wouldn't be the number one, but Pacific Rim Uprising was extremely disappointing. I love the first one so much, and the director for the second one is the guy who ran my favorite TV show of all time,
Daredevil, yep.
Spartacus.
Well, he also did Daredevil.
He also did Daredevil season 1, yes.
Damn, I forgot. Pacific Uprising was really bad too. Oh God.
Yeah.
So,
I just watched The Last Airbender, and I haven't finished it. I can only do 15-minute increments a day. So
Why are you watching it?
Because like now that I love Avatar, because I've watched the whole animated series, like I was like, I need to go figure out why this movie was so disrespectful. And I was just like, wow, 3 minutes in.
But you know what's funny? If you listen to M. Night talk about Avatar, you couldn't tell that he directed that movie. I mean, he loves the world. If you listen to anything of him talking about it, he loves Avatar. I just don't know what the hell happened.
You see their names right in the movie.
That's the big thing. Have you seen Korra yet?
I started it, but I'm still too attached to Aang and everyone that I could watch it. I just wasn't ready yet to make that jump.
Korra's I haven't finished it, but from what I've seen, I really liked it. Nothing's gonna beat that first one though. Nothing's gonna beat that first thing. All right, guys. Favorite horror movie?
Yeah, I feel like I have to say Chucky because I called the police because of Chucky.
Wait, what?
When I was 5.
You got to tell this story.
Oh, I never told you the story?
No.
I want to hear it.
My brother was in charge of watching me, okay? I don't know why my parents made this poor decision, but it's okay. Still love my brother. So they went to my grandma's house with my other brother, and my parents thought that it would be a great idea to like make their 5-year-old watch Chucky as a family.
Oh, cool.
So my brother's a very like heavy sleeper, so he wouldn't wake up. I was trying to tell him I needed something, and he wouldn't wake up. So I thought that Chucky killed my brother because like that's the last thing I had watched. And so I called 911, and I was like, Chucky killed my brother. And the cops came. They had to mace my dog. My brother wakes up to all these sirens, the fire truck, like everything is there. And literally my parents get a phone call like, your daughter called 911 saying Chucky like killed.
Oh my God.
Son. So yeah, true
that's
story.
Bad. How old were you? Do you remember how old you were?
No, I was 5.
Oh, 5. Okay, 5.
Yeah, they're disrespectful, but yeah, they let their 5-year-old watch Chucky.
That is crazy. Ren, any stories like that where you ever called 911?
No. But my favorite of all time is still The Exorcist, but I'll say The Witch, which is a very recent one, so not a popular opinion, but it's top
The
5.
Exorcist is another overrated.
How dare you, sir?
I think it's
scared because it took place at my campus, like St. Louis University.
Oh, really?
It happened in the hospital, so I would be afraid to drive there when I used to drive around campus and show for people. But yeah, I was like really freaked out about that movie.
So I can get that. I think I saw it at a time where it was so hyped that I watched it. I'm like, it doesn't hold up. For me, my favorite horror film of all time is probably The Babadook. It's the one that actually made me start loving horror movies, and really looking at them in a different light. But if we're going straight up horror, I mean, it's Army of Darkness. I've grown up with that movie for years, and I always go back and love Ash Williams to death. I love him. I think he's such a kick-ass dude. All right, I really like this question. G. Colby Porter. When you grade a film, whether letter grade or out of 5 stars, do you grade based on the genre it's in or the film as a whole? Like Deadpool for me is an A+, though I know it's not perfect. What do you guys think about this? I look at this as the thing. How also adding in, how would you guys just grade a film? How do you grade a film? Is it how great it was? Is it how entertained you were by it? Does it depend on the genre? Sharonda, you start.
So mine is a little different because it's like a pay or weight. So I actually find this a lot more conflicting because there are a lot of movies that I enjoy, but I wouldn't necessarily tell someone to go spend money on opening weekend to watch this movie. And I think I literally get in arguments with people because they're like, I can't believe you said wait. Like I was like, so you would spend money? And they're like, well, I'll do a matinee or $5 Tuesday. And I'm like, so you really didn't like the movie?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, is it worth people spending their hard-earned money to go watch this film in a theater?
That is true. That's really cool. That's what, like, when I first found your channel, I'm like, oh, pay or wait. I like that, even though I don't agree with some of your stuff, but I like it. Ren.
So for me, as you know, I have this curse on me, which is the curse of I went to film school. So I look at films and I look at the filmmaking first and foremost. But for me, every movie is made differently, is trying to accomplish different things. So when I grade a movie, I basically look, yes, there is a level of it where I look at how much I enjoyed it overall, or how much repeated viewings does it hold for me, like without having seen it several times. But I look at it at what it tried to accomplish and how well it accomplished those things.
I dig it. For me, it depends on the movie. It's 100% just on the movie. If I'm entertained, I'm going to give it a better score than it should. I mean, there are definitely some comedies that I've laughed a lot in that were not made well, but they made me laugh. So I'm going to give them a good score. And then there's times where I've seen an independent movie where I don't get it. I liked it, but I can really much appreciate a lot of the stuff. And I feel I can't, like, I won't give it like an A+ or anything, but I'll give it a higher score because there's a lot of greatness in the movie. It just wasn't for me. So everyone grades films differently. I know I've gotten in arguments like Capone. I reviewed. I liked it. But I love the vision of it. I love the vision of what Josh Trank did for the movie. And some guy argued with me. He goes, you made this movie sound like it was going to be a B+ and you gave it a C+. A C+, guys, is like a 7.5 out of 10. That's really good. That's pretty good. That's a good score. So keep that in mind. So yeah, people are always going to argue. I mean, like I gave Scoob a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and I got same. And people would message me going, "How dare you? How dare you? You got paid to put a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd." Yeah, I got paid to put a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Please pay me, Warner Brothers. Please pay me.
Okay.
Yeah. See. What is the movie that you will never forget its experience? So I'm thinking he's talking about the theater experience. What is there a movie that you guys remember sitting in the theater and you're just like, oh shit, this is amazing? Ren, I already know you have one, so say it.
It's back there.
Avengers Endgame.
It's back there. Well, I tell you this, it's not only because of what it meant to me, but the first time I watched it, I was at a press screening. I had never seen a press screening so full. By the way, press screenings here in Portugal, they don't fill out the screening room. They don't fill out the theater 99% of the time. This time it was full. And you go to a press screening, you're surrounded by other people who are jaded and cynic and don't really like superhero movies. In this one, everyone was cheering when you were supposed to cheer. Everyone was laughing. Everyone was applauding the film. It was just surreal. And on top of all that, the movie meant as much as it did to me.
I think we could all probably say Endgame, right? Going a little bit away from that though, I'll say the two from me that I do like really remember. Force Awakens, just Star Wars coming back to theater was just a magical experience. Like
That's a good one.
The opening crawl, opening back up, I started crying. But one movie I can remember, and it's pretty recent, was Spider-Verse. I remember sitting at the press screening. I was not excited for this movie at all. This is before any of the hype started coming out for it. And Spider-Man's my favorite superhero of all time. I said, I do not like that they're doing this animated. I think the trailers look cool, but I'm just not into this. They made the Emoji Movie last. How fucking dare them? And I sat down and I literally, and press screens, pretty full usually in Arizona. There was only 4 of us there. There's 4 critics there. That's it. And it wasn't like in the morning, it was in the afternoon at a pretty close theater, and everyone walked out loving that movie. And I championed that movie the second I walked out. I said, that's the best movie of this year. There's no inch of my body that will say anything less than that. And it's become one of my favorite theater experiences ever, because I remember just embracing my friend and just being like, is this real? Like, is this good? Like, did we expect it to be this good? So it was quite incredible. Sharonda, any others you have?
Mine is weird. So I'm not going to talk about Endgame, but I talked about Gladiator because that just changed me from judging a book by its cover, like if I'm going to hate a film or not. But I would have to say Get Out was like one of those movies like, oh, okay, Jordan Peele is doing this. I'm just going to see it because like it's a Black movie. But like walking, like experiencing what was happening and realizing what this movie was really about was just like, wow. Like I've just seen like it puts horror on like an entirely different level, right? Mm-hmm. And then also Zach was with me for this experience. One of my favorite festival experiences was The Long Shot.
Yes.
Because it was that I didn't think that I was going to enjoy as much, but literally it is one of my favorite film festival experiences that has ever happened. It was just such a fun night. It was so fun.
I agree with you. Long Shot was probably my favorite film we saw at South by that year. It was the best theater experience too. Like was it the Captain Crunch joke in there? With that, I think everyone when he comes down in the outfit and you just couldn't hear no dialogue for like the next 5 minutes because everyone was still laughing at when he comes down in that outfit, and everyone's like, and they call him the Captain Crunch, something about Captain Crunch, but I was just dying laughing. But that was a great movie. Plus they gave us free jackets, so that was cool.
And we had a Boyz II Men concert afterwards.
They gave us a Boyz II Men concert. That was even better. I mean, that was straight up. And then like seeing Charlize Theron to the side just dancing was like very fun. It was an awesome experience. And that was the best part about South by Southwest. Absolutely, it was just that concert. And that whole theater, that was a great one. That's a good one to pick. Good job. And then going to Get Out real fast. I remember seeing that film, and I was so excited for it. And I really liked it the first time I watched it. But that film has grown on me. Like the more and more, like the intriguing levels that film goes to, and like the ending of that movie when the cop car pulls up, I think everyone audibly gasped in the theater. They're like, ugh.
No one saw it coming. No one saw that coming.
Have you seen the alternate ending?
I did. That's what we saw coming.
Oh,
that is what we thought was going to happen.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I'm glad. I like the ending they picked, though. I think that was the better ending, personally. Yeah. All right. I just accidentally, the whole thing just skipped across. Favorite Tim Burton movie?
Oh, I got it.
Okay, go.
Ed Wood. Easily. For me, it's Ed Wood.
That's a great movie. Sharonda?
I really like Nightmare Before Christmas. Like,
It's tough. I mean, there's a lot of good ones.
I'm really torn between that, like, everything, like, out. I'm gonna stick with Nightmare.
Okay. Mine would personally be Edward Scissorhands. I think, or Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice and those two are always like my favorites. Yeah, Beetlejuice is so rewatchable. I like this question. Hey guys, do you think parents should show their kids Zootopia if we're talking about movies surrounding racism? Yes.
I think should show Zootopia. Everybody needs to watch Zootopia.
Zootopia is one of the best animated films of the last decade as well. That movie. Again, another surprising movie. Didn't expect to like it, and I loved it.
I expected to like it. I did not expect it to be that good.
Let's see. Have you guys all watched Dead to Me on Netflix? I tried.
Yes.
All right, Sharonda, let's start. Do you like Dead to Me?
Yes, I remember watching like the first episode when it came out. I was like, this is not
That's
like anything.
I've only watched the first 3, and I'm just like, eh.
But I was like, this is so good. It's like twists and turns everywhere, and I actually like the characters. It was great, and then I love how dark they went for the second season. I'm here for Dead to Me. I like
Is it open for a third one?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Okay. And then Ren, I know you've talked about this. You love this series.
I love it. I don't quite remember how I felt. Like, I don't remember if I loved it immediately or if it took me a few episodes, but Linda Cardellini is there, so I'm going to be there. And I remember I really like the first season. Second season is even better for me. It's so good.
I need to watch the show. I need to give it another shot. We'll see one day. I'm still trying to get through Big Little Lies. Like, I still haven't even finished the second season.
Well, the second season is hard to finish, but at least you have Meryl Streep to guide you through.
Yeah, it's not. I don't love it. I mean, I've like, I'll try and start watching it again. I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, it's just an example on those shows that should have stayed as one season. This is why you don't try to push it to a second season. It was only one book to one season.
Yeah. Jacob Juice says, I have a question. Do you think that in the future kids don't know what a classic movie is, and are they perhaps going to think the Avengers is a classic? I think they'll know what's a classic movie and what's not, but I will say that other movies will be added to the classic lineup. Like, I do think the original Avengers film will be a classic film. I think The Dark Knight will be a classic movie. And I think we will see certain films be placed in there. There will be underrated classics. There will be some classics that a lot of people hear of, like The Avengers and Dark Knight. What about you guys? What are your thoughts, Sharonda?
Doesn't it change though? Like, as there's more and more generations, like what people deem to be classic or whatnot, I feel like that it changes with the times. You know what I mean? I think that they will still know, but I think it would still take people recommending movies to them, or people who just have the love of film and wanting to watch, you know, older classic films that a lot of critics or filmmakers talk about.
I agree. And that is a good point of view on that, because it's going to be interesting, to say the least, like the next generation after us and what they consider to be that. And even adding to this, is there any, before we get to Ren, is there any films that you feel like are classics right now or will be?
Well, I think that when you say Avengers, I think that really changed how we view like superhero movies. You know what I mean? Really, we only watched, you know, DC. That's all we really had to really look at. And so I think that with Avengers and seeing how all of these characters could actually cross over, because we've only really watched films just for, you know, we watched the Spider-Man films or we watched the Batman films. And it really even wasn't until Batman Forever, when you kind of saw all of these like villains come together in one film and really have that much screen time. You know, I pray that one day that Loose will become a classic. I am always
Loose is so good.
It's such a great movie that people really didn't talk about. It still breaks my heart to this day. But yeah, I mean, those are the ones that just really, you know, come to my mind. And, you know, even I have to say that Black Panther would have to be a classic, because it shows in Black Panther and Crazy Rich Asians, it shows that if you bet on people of color, if you bet on Black people, if you bet on the Asian community, that you are going to make a lot of money. And so it kind of changed the stereotypes. If we have an all Black cast, if we have an all Asian cast, it's not going to make us money.
And that's the thing. I still don't get the pre-notion of like them not doing this. You know what I mean? Like, you still see it happening today. And I'm just like, these movies have proven everyone different. Any movie can make money as long as you make a good movie. It doesn't matter who's casted in
your film to market it too. That's like,
yeah,
a lot of studios bury film. I mean, look at Snowpiercer. That is a perfect example on how studios try to bury films, or they don't put the marketing behind it. Even with Widows.
Widows was another one. I love
Widows. So good.
Love that. Ren, what are your thoughts on the whole thing, and what are some films that you feel like will be classics?
About classics, I feel generally the same way you guys do. It's just like we call classics much older movies, and in the future generations, movies will become older, and they will be looked at that way. It's just that simple. I also agree in Avengers. I also hope that Blade Runner 2049 is looked at that way in the future, because it's the perfect companion piece.
Let me throw in that as well. I think La La Land will. I know you think La La Land's overrated, but I think La La Land is going to be in there.
Sorry, Sharonda, but it's true. I mean, this one is technically already a classic, but it's pretty recent. So I'll say There Will Be Blood will be added on that.
Here's some other ones. Birdman. I think Birdman's gonna be a classic. I think we can look at Argo.
Hell or High Water.
Which one?
Hell or High Water. It's just
That's a great one too. Wind River. Wind River
is also added.
Moonlight. Moonlight I can see. You know what else I could see being a classic? And we just talked about Get Out. I could legitimately see Get Out being like a legitimate classic that people talk about. So
that horror is
it did. So and it deserved it. So all right, guys. So we're gonna take a couple more questions, start throwing in some really interesting ones. Like I want the most interesting ones you can possibly think of. All right, what are films that you wish you saw in the theaters when it came out?
Ooh.
I've said this, Harry Potter. Never saw any of the original 8 films in theaters.
I'm old, so I saw all of these in theaters.
So what's some films, though? Any movies that you guys wish?
I for some reason, I don't know why till this day, but I never got to see Inception in theaters. I want to see Gladiator in theaters because it means that much to me. I want to see the original Blade Runner in theaters as well. Off the top of my head,
overrated.
That's really it. How dare you?
The Prestige and The Illusionist. Ooh. I don't know how I stumbled across watching those movies one day, and they kind of came out like close to one another, and I was just like, these movies, like The Prestige is one of my favorite Christopher Nolan films. So
it's very underrated.
I really wish I could have seen that in theaters. Like I'm thinking myself that I did not see that movie in theaters.
That's another one. I didn't get to see that one in theaters either. With movie theaters starting to open back up, I hope they play more films like that. Those are films that I wouldn't actually mind paying $5 to go and see and wear a mask during and kind of get used to going to the theaters again. Hell Night number
those movies though, like you don't feel like they like kind of, you know how like, you know, when Tenet comes out, everyone's going to do a ranking film on Christopher Nolan films.
Yeah.
You don't feel as though that's something that movie theaters should start doing, is kind of like before a big release, like do a movie marathon.
Mm-hmm. They should. And there's a local theater out here that actually does usually, depending on the films. Like, so Tarantino, when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was coming out, they did every week was a Tarantino film to go see. Nice. And then when they did Kill Bill, they did both films together.
I would have did that. I would have paid
I would have too if I would have known about it. Hell Night number 1. What is your favorite Nicolas Cage movie? Mine has always been Con Air. Mine's Kick-Ass. I legitimately think Kick-Ass is his best film. Or Raising Arizona. Those are the two I always love.
I love Face Off. Like that is
Face
my
Off's
movie. Good. That is
Face Off awesome. Face Off is great. And Ren?
You want me to do the Nicolas Cage voice?
Yeah, you have to get the Nicolas Cage voice.
I'm gonna take his face off. For me, it's also Con Air, but shout out to The Rock. The Rock is fantastic.
The Rock's good. The Rock's a good one. Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie. Pay or Wait in the House. Hell yes. What would be your own Jackass stunt?
Ooh, that's good.
I'd Miles Morales sit off a building and survive. There you go.
Ooh. I'm too clumsy to participate in this. Like, no. This is someone who broke their toe from someone falling. Someone fell on my foot and broke my toe. Like, I've never even contributed to my own breaks on my body. That's how clumsy I am. That's how much crazy things happen to me.
Oh, man. That's bad luck. Yeah. That's bad luck right there.
It happens during the winter and you can't wear shoes and it's cold as hell outside.
Oh, yeah. That's terrible. That's even more terrible. Ren?
I'm trying to think of something that hasn't already been done, but
okay, here I'll make one for you. You're gonna dress like Iron Man and fly around in in a cardboard suit.
Okay, that's cool. As long as I fly. I was going to say swimming with sharks with no cage, but that one's cool.
With no cage.
With no cage.
Because you're Nicolas Cage.
Of course, yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. You guys gonna? Let me start looking to see if I can find any more. I've seen this one a couple times. Has anyone seen Tim Burton's Disney short called Vincent? I haven't.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either. best Paul Thomas Anderson film. There Will Be Blood or The Master.
There Will Be Blood.
Blood.
There Will Be Blood. I will say though, my personal favorite of his is Boogie Nights.
That's a good one.
What movie this coming out this year will bring you back to the theater? Tenet.
Any.
Oh, there you go. Any.
Even if it's the one I've already seen.
Oh, okay. What about you, Sharonda? What's the main film that you're like, this will get me back to the theater?
The movie titled The COVID Vaccine. That will get me back to the movie.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like,
So I have a question. Are you gonna go? So if they come out tomorrow and say, "Hey, we're having a Tenet screening this day," are you gonna go?
I am so conflicted. Like, I've had anxiety thinking about this because I have asthma, and also too, they just haven't told us what are we gonna be doing? Theaters are filthy.
Yeah.
The only thing I would go to is AMC, and it might not even be here by the time the movie's like out. So I just don't know. And I just think of Outbreak in the movie theater when everyone. That's literally what I think of when they talk about it.
That's the first movie I watched when the pandemic exploded.
Oh yes, I watched that and Contagion.
Oh, see, I watched Planet of the Apes. I did a whole trilogy marathon.
I wouldn't mind if that was the one that actually happened. I would join the apes. No worries.
Oh, okay.
I mean, are you guys? So, Zach, are you comfortable going to the movie theaters?
Yeah, weirdly enough, I am. I work in retail, so I'm outside all the fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, I have customers coughing on stuff all the time. Like, I'm gonna get it like working in any capacity. Like yesterday, I had a dude. He walks past me, no mask, just starts coughing. And I thought to myself, I'm like, the only people who don't wear masks are the people who cough. It's only the people who cough who wear masks or who don't wear masks. So, but this is my thing. And I was talking to one of my reps. I asked her, I was like, so what? And she goes, we're still trying to figure it out. And she told, well, I theorized from what she was saying. I have a feeling they're gonna do temperature checks for all.
What happens? You're asymptomatic though. That still doesn't fix it.
And that's another thing. And that's the thing I'm curious about is it first come, first serve for critics? Who replies back to that email first? You know what I mean? When you get an invite?
I think that they should say no +1s. There should be no +1s for screenings.
Yeah.
No public screenings. I mean, but to be honest with you, I don't understand why they can't just continue to send us screeners. You literally done it this whole time. I don't understand why you can't keep doing screeners for the
or give it as an option. You know what I mean? Screeners or go to the theater. Like it's literally up to you. Like for me, I think there are certain like Tenet I would not want to watch in my house. I mean, that's
I agree.
And it's tough to say like, but then like Mulan, would I rather watch it? Yeah, so it's tough. There are certain movies I want to watch with an audience, and there's certain ones that I don't. I just need to see what their ideas are with keeping everything clean and because movie theaters are dirty. They're fucking disgusting.
They're disgusting. Disgusting.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how everything kind of, again, the whole world's different. Like my work, nothing's changed with customers. They're all still dirty and gross. Well, most, like 50% of them are. But like when it comes to us, like we're wiping everything down. But even then for me, I'm like, does me wiping this actually help? I mean, what? I'm going to wipe it. Someone's going to cough on it. That germ's going to spread all over. Like,
this is why I wear gloves everywhere, because I don't touch nothing.
Yeah. It's, and you know what else I was thinking? I was like, how are they going to film movies? Like, how do you film a movie now?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Guidelines to the productions, but I have no idea.
Like lovemaking scenes.
Do you talk about kissing your co-star in a movie? Like being close to someone? Like I was watching Defending Jacob and like she spit it, like, you know, someone spits in someone's face. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. If you haven't watched it, go My Baby Daddy.
Definitely.
But it's like, can you do scenes like that anymore? Like,
think about it. Walking Dead. You got a guy right in your face pretending to be a zombie.
Yep.
How do you do that? How do you film the next season? I mean, it's insane.
No hurt in it. Are they going to be like using special effects to just add them in? It's going to take more work.
that could be something that they're doing with it. It's very interesting to say. Like, 2020 has been an interesting year, and Ren sent me this meme. What was the meme? Do you want to read it? Do you want to say what it was?
Where did I send it? Facebook or
It's Facebook?
Facebook. Okay, let me see which one, because I send memes to people all the time.
Let me see if I can actually pull it up.
Oh, the one with the cat. The fun fact. Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Basically, fun fact: when the world made the switch to the Gregorian calendar in the 1500s, we lost about 80 years translation. So technically, this is the year 2012, and there's this cat looking all freaked out.
There it goes.
But I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's legit.
I've read that before, though. I think it is true.
Oh,
I think it legitimately is true. So this could be the 2012. There's going to be a movie about 2020. Like, you already know. There's going to be a movie about
2020.
I really do like this last question, and then we'll get going, guys. Who do you all think is the next? For me, it's Calvin Harrison Jr., Noah Jupe, and Lucas Hedges. Do you guys have that next actor that you saw that's like, this is the next big one? Calvin Harrison Jr. for me, I think.
That's it. I mean, he gave me 2 great performances. He gave me Goose and Weeds in 1 year, and then told you he can do rom-coms with The Photograph and The High Note. Like,
The High Note, I cannot believe him singing. Like, I've listened to that soundtrack every day. Every day I've listened to that soundtrack. It's amazing what he's been able to do.
I love that kid. He's so dope. Like, people really need everything that he's in.
I agree. I think it's him and Ana de Armas who are like the next up and coming actors and actresses. Like, out of them two, those are the two that have really grabbed my attention. Throwing in another one, I actually think Tessa Thompson. Is she there? Would you guys say she's the next? Like, is she in that next category yet or no?
I think she's already kind of up there.
Is she?
She's not like all the way. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, Calvin Harrison Jr. for me. Ren, do you have any others?
Calvin Harrison Jr. is up there. There's another one. He was in Moonlight, and he was in When They See Us.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Jerome.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, he's really good. And also the obvious answer, Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this kid, you guys. Like,
really?
Maybe it's like the off-screen like antics. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's a bad actor though. Like, I really do think he's good. I just don't know if I'm on the hype train yet. I can get there. I can get there. Maybe I just need another movie or two. But yeah.
Dune, yeah. Dune's the man. I just thought of one. She's from she was in mid-90s. She's also in Waves. Lexi
I know you're talking. She's on Euphoria.
Yeah, I love what she's been doing.
He's gonna be on Euphoria too.
Yeah, didn't you? Were you the one that tweeted out "Look out"?
Like,
I saw someone tweet out.
I love him. He deserves everything in the world and more.
I have a question. So, do you think, real fast, Ren, have you watched Euphoria?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we all know Calvin Harrison Jr. for Waves. Do you guys think he's gonna play the romantic comedy type guy for Euphoria, or is he gonna play one of his characters from Loose and Waves?
Having not seen Euphoria, it doesn't seem like the former is the type of role that fits into that show.
Are people happy on that show?
I think so.
I never get a real sense of true happiness from anyone on the show.
But that's just what I'm thinking. Like, he's shown us so many dynamic ranges already. I'm just wondering which range do we get? You know, because there's already a lot of despicable people in Euphoria.
You should watch him on Epic's Godfather of Harlem too.
Oh, really? Okay. I've never heard of that.
With Forrest Whitaker, right?
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. I'm interested now. I
have another one. I have another one that's the next. Taylor Russell, also from Waves.
Yeah.
She was
the
entire year.
She's incredible. Oh my god. And then girl from The Hate You Give. Yes. She was fantastic in The Hate You Give, but she's excellent in not The High Note. The Eddie on Netflix. She was the best part about The Eddie. So guys, I liked it. Not kind of slow. It's a little too long, but it's good. All right, and Sharonda, did you watch the whole thing?
No.
No?
But she was great. I made it halfway. It's too much to watch.
Yeah, there really is. All right, guys. But thank you guys again so much for clicking on this. Thank you for the 1 super chat. I will be donating that and also matching that as well. Where can they find you guys? Sharonda, let's start with you. Obviously, your link's down below, but where can they all find you?
At Pay or Wait, www.payorwait.com, youtube.com/payorwait on social. I mainly only talk on Twitter, though, but yes.
There you go. And Ren, where can they find you at, of course, man?
You guys can find me everywhere on the internet, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ren Geekness. I basically have the same channel as Egg, except I'm not as funny.
No, you're more funny than me. I'm not funny. Thank you guys again so much for clicking on this. Make sure to go hit those subscribe buttons to them. If you guys do and you guys comment on them, they'll let me know, and then maybe I'll give you a surprise. That'll be cool, right? Thank you guys again so much for clicking on this again. It really means the world. Thank you for that 1 super chat. I love doing these like engaging pieces. I'm really bringing these 2 in, and I'm really excited to do this positive report with them as well. So do look forward to that, guys. We need the support. We need you guys, because YouTube only really works because when you guys watch our channels and watch our stuff. So it means the world, guys. So again, until next time, stay classy and stay safe.